Rocky Horror, 50 years.
Crazy, right?
What do you remember about that time?
Don't dream it, be it. Well, no one had done a film at that point except me. It was a first-time director. It was $1 million budget. We were an hour outside of London. The studio had no roof. It was January. I got pneumonia almost immediately, as one does when one's in their underwear, wet, in a freezing cold studio. But I made friends, lifetime friends, but it wasn't, when I see it, I think, God, we must have had so much fun, but actually it was quite difficult. But I'm so happy I did it.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that so many people, it's meant a lot to people. You know, when I go to Comic-Cons, people tell me how life-changing certain movies I did, which you can't fathom when you're doing it, like Stepmom, who thought that would be a big deal for some people. But the Rocky Horror Show always has a bunch of people with a good story. And I'm don't dream it, be it. How can you knock that? Everyone should have the opportunity without having to go to Burning Man to be dressed up however they want and find a community that accepts them. And, I think that's great.
Who are you going to get to come down and cook?
Nonnas, other real-life Italian grandmothers.
I am from Bologna. I spit on Bologna. Spit on Sicily, okay?
I am starving, for one, after watching this. You gotta come to the table with something to eat when you watch this.
That's a good idea. Yeah, a little snack.
I mean, it looks like you guys have a ton of fun talking about working with this iconic group of Nonnas and gentlemen.
Well, I mean, all the gals were such professionals that they could also play, which is important, and Vince, who's obviously funny all the time, also was incredibly supportive and patient and really sweet in a way that I didn't expect.
Lorraine was telling me, I didn't realize it was her first comedy, and she said he really coached her through it, which is
Was her first comedy? She's always hilarious. I don't know. I've known her for years, and she's always arrived. That's funny.
Yeah, maybe, I'm going to have to double check that, but she told me it was her first.
No, I guess that's true if you think about it, right?
And of course, so much of this is centered around food. You've made a dish when you were in Rome that your daughter has since perfected. Talk to us a little about that.
Well, what's interesting is that my mom didn't really cook. She was raised in foster care and orphanages, and so she didn't have a mom. And then she had 9 kids. And so just even if you could cook, it would be pretty difficult to make fancy meals and I'm at the top, so I was babysitting while all the tuna casserole was being fixed with the Campbell soup and everything. But later, when I had my daughter and I was living in Rome, then I got really the full treatment of making sure my sauce was made the right way by Franco's family, and who were great. So that was really the nonna of the family in terms of food. Was a real Italian Roman family, and I loved being part of that family. But we always fixed in my house. We always had so many kids hanging out. Even though I only have 3, I always had so many people, and so we would do big meals on the holidays and sometimes on Sundays and whatever. But I'm so happy that Eva actually took time abroad from Brown, and she went to Italy, and she got really good at the language and the history and architecture and films and everything. So I was so grateful for that, because as a kid, she could speak Italian, but she never wrote it or, read it. She was just a kid, but it kicked in when she was there for school, so that was really great. And she's a great cook, and she does have those recipes. Yeah.
I love that. This film is so much about wanting to pass something along, keep a mother's spirit alive. What do you hope your kids get from you and that you pass? So much. I know. How much time do we have? Right?
No, that makes me cry because I can't think about leaving them. But, I think one of the things about being in this business and dragging your kids all over with you is they're very flexible. and they're not afraid of other cultures. Their bubble has been very big, and sometimes it was a little awkward because keeping up with school or whatever. But at the end of the day, they look back now and they're grateful for it. And they did travel to many, many places.